Hello everybody, it's Daniel here, and today I'm bringing you 5 game recommendations for League of Legends fans. Whether you're looking for a change of pace or to move on to a new experience, there is a huge selection of Mobas available today that you can give a shot. And we've narrowed it down to 5 here today that you should give a go, as well as one little bonus one thrown in that you may not be expecting. This list is in no particular order, so we hope you try them all out. And we'll be telling you where to find everything as we go along the list. First up, we have Heroes of the Storm from Blizzard Entertainment. The best way to describe this one would be like the Super Smash Bros. Of MOBAs. The game is fast, arcadey, and it's very easy to pick up and play at a moment's notice. If you've played any other MOBA, then you'll be instantly familiar with the mechanics that Heroes of the Storm offers. The standard let's destroy the base of those other guys gameplay is still prevalent, but what Heroes does differently is offer a lot more map variety and bonus objectives that will assist you in your pushes. For instance, you can win over the favour of other creeps on the map, or you can cap a couple of objectives so you get some extra weaponry that will again assist you in your pushes. Progression is also slightly different in Heroes. You select a new perk for each level instead of buying any new items. Some of these will require you to practice your chosen hero for several games so you can unlock the ability to choose it in matches, but they're all side grades, so you're not going to be at any disadvantage from the get-go, which is quite nice. You'll also get to play as some of Blizzard's most iconic characters from across all of their franchises for Heroes of the Storm, which is pretty damn cool. Really, it is an apt comparison for Smash Bros. Heroes of the Storm is free to play and can be installed through Battle.net on PC. Next up, we have Awesomenauts from Ronimo Games. Behold the 2D MOBA. Awesomenauts is a small bundle of joy that slaps a Saturday morning cartoon aesthetic upon itself for a unique experience among other games of the genre. Your lanes are now represented by an upper and lower level, your team size has been reduced to 3, and available weapon upgrades are determined before entering a match, meaning you won't have to filter through a laundry list of upgrades to find your preferred spec. Matches tend to be a lot faster than other games of the genre, particularly so with only 2 lanes and 3 aside. It places emphasis on team fight scenarios a hell of a lot more, and each of the characters has wide and varied abilities that will definitely assist you and make it really fun to play. The Saturday morning cartoon aesthetic really does carry this game, because it does feel like sort of comical attacks, and it's quite entertaining to watch because of that, and little tweaks add to this entertainment value, such as when you respawn in, you actually play a little mini game where you pick up as much currency as you can before you come back. And every character also has a kill streak team that will play to everyone on the server once you start going on a bit of a rampage, which again is just really, really nice. It ups a little bit of the competitive nature of the game and just gives you something to do instead of having any downtime. Expansions are also available for the game, but you can find the base game for $10 on most major platforms. Next up, we have Smite from Hi-Rez Studios. Smite was one of the early shakeups for the MOBA scene, and with very good reason. It places you in the third person, casts you as ancient deities and gods, and presents you with staple MOBA maps, and the perspective and variety in abilities separates this game from other MOBAs as it places emphasis on skill shot attacks that come from over the shoulder. It seems like a small change, but it really adds a lot of variety and distinguishes it from the other games in the scene. It feels more like an action RPG at times than a traditional MOBA, and yet, because it adheres to traditional MOBA map designs, it makes it feel very familiar. It's quite easy to hop into if you've played games like League before, because you're going to know your objectives and the layout of the maps. It's mainly the perspective that's going to be different. The style and aesthetic are pretty fantastic as well. Each of the gods are stylized to emphasize their rule, and good visual feedback makes them feel very powerful, which is what you want when you're over the shoulder like that. The game is free to play with a great value Ultimate God Pack available for $30. This will give you access to every character and all future ones that are added to the game, which is pretty great when you consider there's already a roster of over 50 characters, and it's seen continual development since its launch several years back. You can find Smite on PC, PS4 and Xbox One. Next up, I have the oddball game that I wanted to mention. It's not a MOBA itself, but if you're interested in the history of MOBAs, it's definitely worth checking out, and that's Warcraft Tree. Back in the day before everyone and your grandmother was playing some form of MOBA, there was a little known mod for Blizzard's Warcraft Tree that was called Defense of the Ancients, and one of its developers later went on to develop into a fully fledged game that may or may not appear in the title of this video. The base game of Warcraft Tree is definitely worth checking out if you're interested in the history of this genre and want to inspect the elements of this game that would later shape the MOBA scene. The legacy this game has had across all Mobile platforms is truly astounding, and you can see the base mechanics in action in this game. You can play even the original Defense of the Ancients through Warcraft Tree if you so wish, but there is of course a host of additional features because the game wasn't really intended to be played this way. Set in the Warcraft universe, you have a fully fledged campaign that you can play through. You can play multiplayer with your friends, set up custom games, and of course play a couple of mods if you like. There's some other ones available on top of original Dota if you are so inclined. It's definitely worth checking out if you're interested in the history of this genre, and you can find Warcraft Tree on PC through Battle.net for $10 of your regional equivalent. So let's see, I think that's all the bases I wanted to cover for League recommendations. I can't possibly think of any huge mainstream title of the same genre that would be worth checking out if you're a fan of League. Particularly so, one that's been developed by Valve. Nothing really coming to mind of that caliber. So if you haven't heard about Dota 2, Dota 2. A lot of the details of this game have been covered extensively by a huge community of people. So we're just going to go through the main differences between this and League today as quickly as we can. You have a higher level cap. There is less gold available, meaning that completing your build will take even more time. In most games you won't even be able to complete your build, and you have a higher mana cost for a lot of your abilities. The general distinction between League and Dota 2 is that Dota 2 can be more punishing. It's not as accessible as League for this very reason, although if you enjoy the difficulty that this type of gameplay brings, it can be very satisfying when everything goes your way. If you've played League, it's definitely worth checking out, and it's not to say that League isn't difficult as well. Just from playing the two, I found that League is definitely a little more accessible in regards to Dota, but if you're a fan of one of them, you can definitely enjoy the other. Even for the most diehard of League fans, Dota 2 is free to play on Steam. And those are just 5 recommendations for League of Legends fans. If you'd like to see even more recommendations, then please do hop over to GameX.io. We're currently in our closed alpha right now, and you can try out our unique cross-platform games recommendation engine for yourself, which is pretty damn cool. Thank you so much for watching this video, everyone. I've been Daniel, and I hope you enjoyed this.